This podcast was brought to you by Good At Studios. We're networking.
Hello world, 7th of January 2014, this is Jesse's vlog. How are we feeling? Oh, are we feeling good? Well, that's mucho bueno, I'm feeling pretty good too. Well, first off, rest in peace James Avery. He was Uncle Phil on The Fresh Prince. That's a show I personally grew up on. I was thinking, I was like, I feel more comfortable looking at black families than white families. Like if I see a black family at the park, I'm like, oh look, what a lovely day, family at the park. But if I see a bunch of white people at the park, I'm like, what are these white people doing here? Go home, you know? Now, I was thinking like maybe that's because when I grew up, I watched shows with black families. I watched Fresh Prince, Cosby Show, you know what I'm saying, Nickelodeon. I watched Kenan and Kel. I switched to Disney Channel. Watch Sister Sister, That's So Raven, you know what I'm saying, quality TV shows. And then another thing I was thinking about, since we're on the racial thing, I was watching this YouTube video earlier, and this black dude, he was like trying to give news on what he called the black YouTube community. You know, he was like, these niggas blah blah blah, niggas blah blah blah, the niggas blah blah. And then he was like, black people, blah, blah. Like the whole thing, it was just really like racially charged. And it, like, I was watching it and I was like feeling really uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't really like this. Like, imagine if there's a white dude going, you know what I'm saying, the white people on YouTube, white people, you know what I'm saying, the white community. Like, that's like over the top. It's like a Klan rally type thing. Like, it makes me real uncomfortable when people are like, overly racial. Like they're saying, this is our race, this is our community. Like it, like I don't know, it like makes me feel weird because I don't really go for that whole race thing, you know what I'm saying? Like we're all people and that's pretty much it. Like maybe I just grew up around a diverse group of people, you know, and some people don't. So that could be it. You know, I know a lot of people that only grow up around black people. Some people only grow up around Mexicans. Some people only grow up around white people. So I can understand that. You know, I'm not the only person in the world, so can't all be as like-minded as I am. But yeah, I just thought that was funny. And another thing is like, I was like, I don't like when black people are like, you know, niggas are like this. This is how black people are, and you know, white people wouldn't understand. This is how black people are, and all that. And I don't like when people are like Mexicans be like this. Oh, you ain't Mexican, boy, cause blah blah blah. And all this, like, I don't really like when people are like, if you're a certain race, you have to be like that. And then I was thinking, because I heard someone say this before, that I don't like it because they're not like white people, and white people are proper, and white people will try to make black people proper, and black people aren't proper, and that's how they are, and all that. And I was like, I mean, I don't know, because like, I was like, that could be it, you know. I was raised by white people, and I don't act like that, so I'm like, I don't like that. But you know, my black friend, he went to Africa. You know what I'm saying? He was like my best friend. We, you know, whatever, hang out. And this dude, he's lit. Like he would pick up a rock randomly and then just be like, hey, get ready to run. Like break someone's window. You know what I'm saying? Just acting crazy. He was always down to beat people up and do graffiti and, you know, just crazy kid stuff. So, so then his mom sends him to Africa and he comes back and like, I guess they have a way better education over there because he's coming back, he's speaking all proper, and big words, and he plays guitar now, and I'm like, hey yo, let's spray paint the bridge. And he's like, no, I don't want to get in trouble. And ever since then, I'm like, yo, where's my friend at? Why does this guy not want to get in trouble? You know, why is he talking all proper? Why is he so well educated? Why does he care about school now and all that? Like, I was mad. Why doesn't he sag his pants? I was like, I don't really think that it's a racial thing. I just think it's a cultural thing, you know, and it just so happens that groups of races, you know, groups of people with, you know, similar skin tone, they they get bunched into a certain area, and then they develop their own culture. You know, like my mom, she's from Mexico, and then she's from the city where she grew up. They had red pozole, and then her ex-husband, where he grew up, they ate white pozole. And then so one day my mom was like, "Oh, we finna have pozole." I'm like, "Oh, cool." And then it's white, and I'm like, "Yo, why isn't it red?" She was like, "Oh, that's their culture, where they're from." You know, so it's not really about race; it's about culture. But you know, people of the same race, or however we want to categorize people, you know, they develop their own culture. So I think it's pretty much like that, you know, like there's this video on YouTube where like black people in London we're talking down on black people in America. So it's all about culture, it's not really about race. Sitting on my bed right now is a Coolio CD, which is funny because on eBay I saw this lot for 12 games, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy that because 12 games, I bought it for, you know, a certain amount of money. And then I was like, well, I could sell them and then make profit. So to me, that's like an investment. So I get it today, and I open it up, and all I see is Uncharted 3 case, and I see a Coolio CD. And my first thought is, this man. I'm like, did he forget he was selling me 12 games instead? I expected there to be a letter like, yeah, I forgot the games, but here's Uncharted and a Coolio CD. So I thought that was real funny. But inside the Coolio CD was like 6 of the games, and Uncharted has 6 of them stuffed in there. I was just laughing that he stuffed a bunch of games inside of a Coolio CD, because that's just pretty funny. I open up a package and see a Coolio CD. Yeah, and that's great. And then this dude on PayPal, because I sold him something, and then I check my PayPal and I'm negative 100, and then he's trying to say that I didn't send him a thing, and on eBay it's like delivered, so it's like I don't know how to handle that, you know what I mean? Because I shipped through eBay and that didn't give me any, you know, shipping information, so I can't prove that I sent it. And that's happened before. Like I sent the phone back to T-Mobile, and I put in a package and I paid for the shipping. And I put in the box where the mailman comes, picks it up, and then takes it to wherever. And then apparently they stole it or whatever, because the tracking number never got scanned. So basically there was no proof that I sent it. So then that was like $400 for a broken phone that I had to pay for. That's what sucks about mailing stuff. Speak about shipping stuff, like I feel bad for the mailman, because yesterday in Chicago I didn't have school because it was negative 15 degrees, and they said if you're out with your skin showing for like 10 minutes, it'll just freeze. You'll get crazy frostbite, whatever. And I heard like 4 people died yesterday, and that's pretty tragic. You know, like all the homeless people. I can only imagine what they're going through. My dad, he said he was shoveling snow, and he said his gloves had holes in them, so he got frostbite. And I'm like, why would you do that? And then my dad, my dad's funny. He came home. He was like, I got these chairs. We gotta make room for the chairs. I'm like, what are you talking about chairs? He's like, yeah, this guy owed me money. He said he didn't have the money. So his wife told me to take the chairs. So I took the chairs. And like, who does that? Who's imagine if the mob was like that. Imagine if I borrowed like $50 from the mob. And they're like, yo, where's my money? They had like a gun to my head. I'm like, look, I don't got it. You can take this chair though. And the mob's like, oh, okay, I think I want a chair actually. So then the mob takes the chair. That just makes me laugh. And then there's no room in my house for these chairs. I'm like, what are you talking about? Make room? How are we gonna make room? What are we gonna throw away my bed so we can put a chair? Like, we can't just make room. So I'm like, let's just throw them away. And then he's like, all right, whatever. So I have to go into the freezing cold, throwing away these heavy chairs. Luckily, there's snow and ice, so I just pushed it to the alley. But this I wanted to. It was too cold to take a picture. It was too cold to run upstairs, get my phone, come back, take a picture. But they had to be the ugliest chairs that I ever seen. Like, they were straight out of the 80s. Like, I could just imagine like some guy coming home. Hey, what up, funky cool cat? Talking to his wife. I got these funky chairs. Like, they're just the wildest design. It had like the back. It looked like you know how hair like break dancers in the 80s used to have the hair where like imagine like a high flat top like the dude from Kid and Play, but like you just cut right down the middle, so it's like a upward triangle. It was like that. Like the back of it started and then it just slowly went down until there's no more back. So it was like a swivel thing. And it was just the ugliest chair. It was ridiculous. And I told him, I was like, I wish it wasn't too cold for to get my phone to take a picture. He's like, why would you take a picture? I'm like, because these are the ugliest chairs that I ever seen. And he got like super mad. I'm like, you thought these looked like it was so, like, I know it doesn't make sense because you guys can't see it, but it was just ridiculous. Oh yeah, and then I went to get the mail, and then I was lit because in my house I just wear a shirt and shorts. It's not too cold in here because I have heat, thank God. But so I'll go out. I'm like, whatever. I'll be like out there for like 5 seconds getting the mail. And then so I was out there in shoes, shorts, and a shirt. I go get the mail. It takes like 10 seconds. I walk in, like I feel like a prickling on my arm. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, do I have frostbite already? It was actually pretty crazy. Like like my arm like hurt because of how cold it was, and I was just freezing. I'm like, God, it was 10 seconds. Like I'm so happy that I didn't have school this Monday or Tuesday because it is too cold out there. Like right now it's -1 and that's too cold. Yesterday it was -15. That was way too cold. Tomorrow maybe it'll be 70 degrees hopefully. Okay, so I ordered this computer because I've gotten into making videos and I want to make more videos, and my computer just takes way too long to make the videos. Like to export like a 3-minute video took 3 hours. And then if I mess something up, I gotta watch it over again after I export it. And if I mess something up, then I gotta go back, fix it, redo it, then re-export it. So I can't be spending like 6 to 9 hours. Let's say I mess up twice. I can't be spending 9 hours on one video. I got things that I gotta drink water. That takes a while. I got things to do, you know. So I got a new computer because I wanted to. So I did that, and then the company says that they run the computers for 3 days to make sure there's no problems. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like I don't know why 3 days, like why that's the magic number, but whatever. I trust them. That's cool. But it's been a week since I ordered it, and the status I checked like every 20 minutes, it still says processing, and I'm like, are they running this thing for a whole week? Like I don't even like they don't even got to build them. They're pre-made, you know, and then they run it like it's taking a whole week. It's crazy. But I'm not building computers, so I'm not mad at him. And then what's good is like sometimes it's weird. Sometimes I get little bursts of creativity. I'm actually mad because yesterday I thought of 2 really good jokes. And when I think of jokes, like it's really important to me because I think that I'm a funny guy, so I like to tell jokes. You know, I like to rehearse them. You know, bring them out to people. Go show up to class. Hey guys, hear this joke. So I was about to go to bed and I thought of 2 really good jokes. I'm like, oh, write it down, write it down, write it down. I'm laying in bed. I'm like, write it down, write it down, write it down. And then I fell asleep because I was tired or whatever. But I forgot it, and now I'm mad because I always do that. I always think of something, and I'm like, write it down, write it down. But then I don't. Then I forget, like I know I will. Now I remember in 6th grade, this is the first time I ever seen this teacher, and she comes out the gate first day with this crazy project, talking about print the inside of a animal cell. And I'm like, are you crazy? This is the first day you making me do work. And then so I do that because I'm like, you know what, new teacher, I'm gonna show her that I'm a hard worker. So I do it. Takes like half the ink in my ink cartridge. Forget it in my printer. Go to school. I'm like, oh man, I did it. I swear, but I forgot it in my printer. And she goes, you know, if it was important enough, you wouldn't forget it. And I just got so mad. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna forget all the assignments this year because off the bat I can tell right now, you know what? They're not that important because you're a jerk for saying things like that. And that just blew my mind. I'm like, is this lady crazy? Like people forget things even if they're important. People forget their children, okay, and those things are important, you know. But then, you know, maybe she's right. You know, maybe jokes aren't that important, especially compared to my sleep. So I'm like, you know what, I can forget this deep down. Because in the moment, I'm like, you know what, this is important. But deep down, maybe I know, you know what, this isn't that important. I don't care that much. That's actually how I feel about college. Because I didn't really care about college. I don't really try to sweat things. I don't try to stress anything. Because that's not fun. I don't enjoy stressing over things. I just, you know, let the cards align and fall in place. So I applied for one college, got in, and then ever since that, it's been I just don't care about anything. Like, you know, I applied, got in. I don't got to worry about anything. Everybody's worrying about college because, you know, seniors in high school. I'm not worried about a thing. I don't care, you know. And then I was right. I'm like, well, do I really want to go to college? You know, because personally, I suck at school. You know, I talked about this on the first episode. I suck at school, and then, you know, 4 years of school, 4 more. That's crazy. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm scared I might not stick through it. All that debt, you know, even if I don't stick it, you know, it's great. It's just a complicated situation. So I was like, you know what? I think that I would rather just not go to college. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to go to college. And it's funny because I just make gut decisions and then never question them. I like to ride with them. You know, if I think of something, I do it or I make that decision, and then you know what? That's pretty much the end of it. I don't feel like thinking anymore because if you think about it more, you know, what's that gonna do? That either postpones doing something, or you're so busy thinking about it that you don't do it. That happens to me all the time. I'm not very productive because I'm always thinking. So the less I think, the better. So if I say, all right, I'm going to this college, done. I'm not even thinking about anything else. And then I thought, no, I'm not going to college, done. I'm not even thinking about anything else. See, the thing about stress, though, is, you know, I grew up in an area where my grandmother smoked, my aunt smoked, and, you know, I live in the world where people smoke, you know. So to me, that was like a thing, like, oh, you know, I'm stressed. This is what people do when they get stressed or whatever. They smoke. So I did that for a while, and I stopped. And then I was like, you know what's a cool thing? You know what bosses do? they smoke cigars, so that was a thing. So then I stopped that. And then recently, I've been, stressed or whatever, and I've been, getting cravings. I'm like, I need to inhale some tobacco in my lungs, I'm thinking that. But I'm like, you know what? No, I care about my health. I'm not going to do it. But, I still have the urge. So then I was on Instagram, and I saw this dude with this e-hookah. So then I ordered one, and I'm waiting for those to come in because I Google everything. I Google what's it called? I Google the wazoo out of everything, you know. It's basically a e-hookah. It's just water and flavors, and the flavors that it's made out of, and whatever the chemicals in it, they're not cancerous. So basically, there's nothing wrong with it. So I said, okay, then I'm gonna get it, and then hopefully I'll feel so cool and have a nice little kiwi taste in my mouth, or cherry. Got multiple flavors in my mouth. That I'll be like, you know what? I don't need tobacco or these cancerous things. Much like if a fat person's like, oh, I really need a Big Mac, and then they eat like a carrot, maybe they'll be like, all right, I got food. This is good. It's sort of like that. All right, I got vapor. I don't need tobacco. It's like that. I saw this thing in the new Call of Duty. You can download this camo that's weed leaves, and then just have weed leaves on your gun. And then I was like, that's just ridiculous. Like, I hate like potheads whose whole life is just like, I'm 420 Kush smoker, blah blah. Like they have Bob Marley posters, Bob Marley T-shirts. Everything they talk about is, just weed. Everything they know everything about. Well, this is sativa. This is a hydro. Like they know everything about weed. They love bracelets. They love the leaf. The leaf is crazy to them. They just wear it everywhere. They just have all these pot smokers, music, and clothes, and their whole life, like it's a lifestyle for them. And that's just ridiculous to me. That's like I mean, some people are like that with sports. Like everything they own has their team logo and whatever. Maybe I'm just not that passionate or that into things that I can't have everything or my whole life be wrapped about this one thing. Like on one hand, I respect them because they're so so focused on, this is my life. I really enjoy this so much. Everything about my life is wrapped around this. Like, I wish I had that type of focus and, care for anything to be like, what, my life is gonna be like this. 'Cause I don't really put that much care into anything. So, on that hand, I respect them. But on the other hand, it's like, come on, man, like you're just gonna put all your eggs in one basket. It's gonna be your whole life. Eat a plum or something. Make your life about weed and plums. Like I don't even know, but that it just makes me laugh when I see someone's whole life. Like, yeah, I'm about to go smoke every day after school, and then pray to my Bob Marley poster, and listen to Wiz Khalifa. And oh, is that a shirt with a pot leaf? I think I'll own that. But what makes me mad though is when I saw this girl with like weed gauges, and I'm like, oh, you like weed? And she's like, nah, I don't smoke. I'm like, are you sitting like some people? They're just straight posers. I hate that. Like it's funny when people like that's their whole lifestyle, but see when that happens, it becomes like a mainstream thing. So then these posers come in, and they're like, "Wow, that's like a cool thing. I think I'll go to Hot Topic and get a weed leaf shirt." And then it's like, "Do you smoke?" No, but but I listen to Wiz Khalifa and he does. Oh yeah, okay. This is one thing. Um, Weed is legal in Colorado now, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna move to Colorado." Like they're like real excited about it, but that really doesn't matter, because weed was medicinally legal in California, and then the federal cops, whatever they're called, they came in and busted all the shops. Same thing happened in Washington or some other place. So if weed is legal in Colorado, there's nothing to stop the feds from just walking up in a Walgreens and then taking all the weed off the shelves and arresting the people at Walgreens or whatever. Like, just because it's legal in that state, but the feds can still walk in and just take everything. I just don't agree with that. I don't think it's cool for the government to come down and shut down weed shops. Like, if the state thinks it's cool and the people think it's cool, like, I don't even know how that affects other people. It's sort of like the kids in class who, like, if you're reading a story, like, Billy walked to the store, and then you turn to the kid Billy, and you go, dude, that's you in the story. That's how I feel like people are about, like, gay marriage and weed. Like, as soon as they say weed's legal and gay marriage is legal, like, now that somehow involves you. Like, your whole lifestyle has changed now. Like, as soon as the gavel hits and the judge is like, you know what, gay marriage is legal, like, you like gotta bend over and like get fucked by your friend or something. Like if you already are against weed and people you're around are against weed, if weed's legal, you're still not gonna smoke. Like, the law shouldn't make a difference on your lifestyle if you believe you should do that or not. That's like, I don't drink pop. I don't drink soda. I don't drink soft drinks. I don't drink carbonated syrup. Because that's bad for me. So if the judge said, you know what, no more Coca-Cola, boom, I would. That doesn't affect me, so I wouldn't be like, you know what, this is bad, because I don't get, that doesn't affect me. Why? Now I get, that people who enjoy it, they wouldn't like that, and I feel bad for you. You enjoy something, and it was taken away. That's terrible. But I wouldn't really understand the opposite, where it's like, you know what, you really enjoy something, and now you're allowed to do that. That's terrible. I don't approve of that. Like, it just doesn't make it like I just imagine a bunch of rednecks hunting in the woods, just shooting deer, and then like the gavel hits, all right, gay marriage is legal, and then they all start making out. Like, that's like, it just doesn't make sense for someone to be against another person's lifestyle. If that's not your lifestyle, if that's not the lifestyle of people around you, if you're living in Louisiana and people in New York are getting gay and getting married and smoking weed or whatever, like, that doesn't affect you at all. So I just don't understand how people are against that. And I think that's pretty funny. The whole federal law thing. I don't think that federal law should infringe on state laws. You know, it's like the whole sodomy thing. Butt sex. It's like if I'm with a girl and then we agree, yeah, butt sex is going down. That's a cool thing. Like, me and her agree. You know, metaphorically, that is our state right. That's our personal. I'm saying, I'm gonna do this. But if it's legal there, like, just imagine a cop, freeze, boom, busting in. Taking my penis out of the girl's butt, putting me in handcuffs. Like, to me, that's the same thing. It's just ridiculous to come into my home, aka state, police officer, aka feds, and then, messing up what I got going on, aka smuggle weed, aka butt sex, you know what I'm saying? And if I'm having butt sex with a man, you know, sorry, priest or redneck, but that don't affect you. Like, you wouldn't even know. Like, if gay marriage was legal, and I got married to a man in Alabama against that wouldn't even know. So it just doesn't make sense why that's a thing to be against or for it to be illegal. Like, to me, it just doesn't make sense. So that's the show. Thank you for listening. Love you. Goodbye.